What's going on, guys? Today I have a 2020 Chevrolet Corvette C8. Today I'm gonna do a review of the car. I'm gonna go over the exterior, the interior, the changes they did for the 2020 C8, and then I'm gonna do a little review test drive and get my full opinion at the very end. Stay tuned. Before we talk about the 2020 Corvette, let me tell you some history about it. Corvette has been the iconic American sports car for over 70 years. I grew up in the modern age of the C5, the C6, and the C7 generation. The C7 was my favorite until the C8 came along in 2020. For over 70 years, the engine's always been in the front, V8 engine, and now they made the C8 into a mid-engine because they were inspired by a fighter jet and European sports cars. See, Corvette always had its weird place with the sports car lineup because the power was there, the performance was there, but the quality on the inside was lackluster compared to its European rivals like Mercedes-Benz, AMG, BMW M Series, Porsche, and Corvette could dream of ever competing against Ferrari and Lamborghini at the supercar level. Well, the C8 changed that and put the Corvette on the trajectory to do so. Now, starting out with the front of the 2020 C8 Corvette, you're going to get new daytime running lights, and they look great. When you lock the car, unlock the car, they do a little animation with the lights, and then you're going to get a frunk that has been very useful because I've been using the back to put groceries and the frunk. So if I have my backpack in the frunk, I put my groceries in the trunk. And then on the hood, you're going to get more aggressive bylines. They look really good in the sunlight. They reflect a Stingray in a way, and I think they look really good. At the bottom of the car, you're going to get more functional vents. Since this is the 3LT trim, we have two cameras down below. That is for the front curb camera system. All right, let's talk about the back. So in the back now, as I said, we have the engine right here. You have on top, you're going to have your camera for your digital rear view mirror, and then you're going to get a nice size trunk that is really good for storage. As long as you don't have the roof panel in there, you get plenty of storage with this combined with the front. It's a good size. Now when you put the roof panel in the trunk, that takes up basically all the space, and I wouldn't want to have anything back there with it, but at least you still get a front to use for storage while you have the roof off if you put the roof in your trunk. Then next we have this massive black spoiler. This is actually a factory option from Chevy. You can get the C8 with or without a spoiler. Completely up to you. My personal opinion, I think the spoiler completes the look more of the C8 Corvette. Without it, it doesn't look as bad. I think the spoiler just completes the sports car look better. If you move down, we have new LED tail lights. They also do the animation when you lock and unlock the car. Move down below, we have more functional vents. Then we get down to one of the best parts of the exterior, the quad exhaust. Now the C7 was my favorite generation of a Corvette because of the center quad exhaust, and it does look cool. They sound great. But if you want to get that with the C8 generation, you're going to have to go up to the Z06 or the ZR1. But the owner of this car actually has equipped the Chevy's performance exhaust, which is an option you can get from Chevy with any Corvette. And let me just tell you, it sounds amazing. Check it out. Now, last but not least, we have a 6.2 liter V8 engine that makes 490 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. Now, MPGs, you're going to be looking at 15 in the city and 25 on the highway. The engine itself, it looks like they have I believe the appearance package for the engine, because there's additional lights up here and there's also carbon fiber around the engine. Now, if you get the Z51 package, which is the track package, that's going to add 5 extra horsepower and 5 pound-feet of torque. But the engine is controlled by a dual clutch system, 8-speed. It's very fast, very responsive, it's very good. The MPGs, I was very surprised by it because when I was driving it all around the city or on the highway, I was getting about 20 to almost 30 while I was in the normal tour mode until I put it in its track mode, and that instantly dropped because hearing that engine roar behind you, there's no way you want to drive the speed limit. So before we get into the C8 Corvette, here is the Corvette's key fob. Now this is a 2020, so the markings are gone, but essentially you have lock, unlock. In the middle you have your remote start. On the bottom left you have your front, and on the bottom right you have your trunk. So this car is the 3LT trim, so it has the upgraded security system, and the owner of the car has it to where when you walk away with the key, the car automatically locks by itself, which is a great feature to have, and I suggest to have turned on if you have that option. So go to the vehicle, keys in my pocket. Underneath here is going to be a touchpad. Just pull it, and then you're ready to step into your C8 Corvette. Now, quickly, if you get stuck with your battery dead because the doors are electronic, there is a manual door lever on the driver's side and passenger side to get out of the vehicle. And to get in, there is a hidden key fob or a key slot underneath where the touchpad is. So on the inside, first we're greeted with this beautiful two-tone blue interior. It looks amazing, and it's also genuine Napa leather because we have the 3LT trim. Starting with the door panel, we have an upgraded 14-speaker Bose audio system. We get carbon fiber accents on the door panel. You get your Chevrolet C8 D-shaped steering wheel, and then you're going to get a 12-inch digital gauge system behind it. You're going to get a heads-up display. Then you get an 8-inch touchscreen, and when you're sitting in the driver's seat, you notice right away it is a driver-focused vehicle, so everything is facing you and it feels convenient. The screen is close enough if you need to use it. For audio, I just been using on the buttons on the steering wheel with volume right here, and you can change the song right here. Going to the center, we have our drive mode selector. Again, this is a DCT transmission, so you have park, you have reverse, neutral, and you just pull back for drive, and you have M for manual, so you can shift the gears yourself. To the right, we have our drive mode selector. Now, what I've noticed, it is laggy with the screen drive mode selector. So for example, right now I'm in my mode, so if I change it to a different mode, it's a little laggy. It's not the quick response, so I wish Chevy would improve that as far as it being quick to change. But other than that, I think the drive modes are very good. You get weather, you have my mode, you have tour, you have sport, and then you have track, and then you have your Z mode. Think of my mode and Z mode equivalent to BMW's M buttons, where you basically have your own profile, and you change the options as far as the engine sound, as far as the powertrain, the brake response. So things in that nature, if you want to go more into detail with like how you want the car to feel and drive. Above the drive mode selector, we have our front camera button. This is a part again of the 3LT package. You get the front camera, and you get two curb cameras. And then we have the front axle lift system button. Now this does not work, so I'm assuming the guy whoever owns this probably got it disabled. Not for sure, because when I press it, it tells me that that system is not available. But that is a really good system to use if you go up hills a lot. Wherever you're driving, it will lift the car up a few inches, and it will give you more and better ground clearance. And then you have your traction control button off right there. Right there we have smaller cup holders, not the biggest size. I wouldn't put anything there unless it's a water bottle. Then you have your plethora of AC control buttons, which look confusing, but when you're driving the car, it's easy. Top is for driver, bottom is for passenger. Then right here we have a small glove compartment, and then you get a charger and a phone holder back here that has been very nice to use. Now, Apple CarPlay is wired, so you're gonna have to wire your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto through the USBs back here. It became wireless in 2021, the year after the C8 came out. But On top we have our speaker that says Corvette Stingray on it, and you get to see that great V8 engine back there, and here behind you has your speeding down the streets. And on top, we're gonna get a digital rear view camera mirror, so you can change it to zoom in, zoom out. You can also dim it, and you can, if you want to turn it off, just do that. But as you see, that is not good. That is not good for the back. The camera has been very nice to use, especially at nighttime, because at nighttime I'm able to see the cars behind me more. It's more bright, it's not as dim, versus using this and trying to see out of this small little window. On top, you're going to get Alcantara. You're going to get Alcantara roof that feels very soft. I would advise not getting Alcantara, just knowing how Alcantara can not last long, especially when you're in the sun. And with this vehicle having the removable roof, it's going to get damaged. So I would avoid getting the Alcantara sunroof, or sorry, the Alcantara liner. I'll just get the regular, I don't know if it comes leather or it becomes in the plastic soft molding. All right, guys, as far as the tour, that's the tour of the C8 Corvette from the exterior and the interior. I did forget to mention that we have 19 and 20-inch rims on here, and we have blue Brembo brakes that complement the color of this vehicle and the color of this beautiful two-tone interior. So next I'm gonna go for a little test drive. I'm gonna put on my GoPro so y'all can have see it from the POV driver's vision, and then I'll pull over, I'll take off the roof so y'all can get the full experience of the C8 Corvette and hear not only the engine but hear that performance exhaust. All right, guys, before I take off on this drive, I want to read out the trims for y'all, just in case y'all trying to see which trim should you get, the 1LT, the 2LT, or the 3LT. So I'm gonna have a list on the screen, but basically we have the 3LT trim, which is fully loaded. With the 1LT, you get all the basic features and interior. With the 2LT, you're gonna get basically what everybody's gonna want. That's the trim that I will get, because that comes with all the extra amenities in the car. So with the 2LT, you'll get upgraded 14-speaker Bose audio system, the navigation, wireless device charging pad, performance data recorder, a more, like I said, upgraded security system. You'll get heated and ventilated seats, seat memory settings, additional power adjustable for the seats, a heated steering wheel, and a front curve view camera. It has a heads-up display, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross traffic alert. So with the 3LT, only thing it adds on top of that is going to be upgraded seats with Napa leather and carbon fiber. And then this Corvette also has the optional magnetic ride suspension, which makes it easier to drive on rough roads, and the car will adapt to it as it needs. And with these seats, these are actually the GT2 bucket seats, and they are very comfortable. I thought they'll be pretty tight with the bowstring. I'm about 6'1" and 250, and it's very comfortable. It's not tight at all. I fit very comfortably in here. I can tell y'all, this is one of the most comfortable high performance vehicles I've ever been in. I mean, like I said, the seats are very comfortable. The way you can adjust them, the bowstring, like I said, you can adjust them in multiple ways. And then the steering wheel placement, since it's not a big steering wheel, it's a D shape, I can scoot up and I still have enough leg room clearance under the steering wheel. Doesn't matter. The only thing is that it's still a sports car, so you gotta be careful driving over rough roads, because you will feel the bumps, and I've felt a few bumps. And now I know if I'm ever in a sports car to don't go on that road or that highway, because it's gonna hurt real bad. The guy who owns this car, I believe he put some extra protection. It's like a rough black material on the bottom of the bumper, and also the same things on the top of the roof. So I guess so if scratches get there, it's not as bad. So I would suggest doing that. If you can get some type of protection on your bumper of your Corvette, or even on the roof, so that way it avoids getting scratched up so much, do it. Because like I said, these bumps, they do hit hard. but it's worse if you're in the sport mode, track mode, where the suspension is not as easy and comfortable and gets more stiff. It will hurt you. Now let's talk MSRP. So when the Corvette came out in 2020, the original price was for about $58,000 starting, into about $65,000. But of course, when this car came out, it was markups everywhere. This car was marked up 10, 20,000, you name a number. Dealerships are marking this vehicle up because it's, you know, the new C8, new generation of Corvette, whole new redesign, whole new era of Corvette. So a lot of people didn't have these like coming at the back, and it's 2024 now, and I'm just now seeing C8s, a lot of them on the road consistently. For a while I was still seeing a lot of C7s, C6s, and even C5s, but now I'm starting to see a C8 Stingray on every corner, if you say. And then today, if you're trying to get a 2020 Stingray, you can get a used one for basically the same price. Like, Corvettes hold their value. I'm assuming because one, it's an American sports car, so maintenance is definitely cheaper. It still has the performance. Now, the maintenance is cheaper compared to a European sports car. Let me add that for more context. But they have a good reliability of lasting for a long time, as long as you take care of them. Corvettes will last you forever. And right there, rough road. Like I said, right now I'm in my mode, so I'm really just cruising till I get to the first destination, and then I'll switch over to track mode to show you where the fun really begins with this car. If you live in a neighborhood where you leave early in the morning and you don't want to wake up your neighbors, with the Corvette you can actually leave it in whatever mode you get out the car and you turn off the car. It was, when you get back in the car and turn back on, it would be in that mode. So say for example with me, when I got this car, I first brought it home, I turned it off, I had it in track. So when my wife got in the car with me and I started it, it was cracks and pops super loud in our small little garage, and she kind of got a jump scare because how loud it was. And then to the next day I decided to go ahead, oh look at there, the next day I decided to go ahead and leave the car in my mode, and I put my mode to be stealth and everything, and it was still loud, but not as loud as track, but the engine behind you just quiets down. But once it gets done idling and everything, it cools down. It's so quiet compared to track mode. Granted, this is a V8, so it's going to be loud than any other non-V8 car. It's going to be loud. It's also going to be loud. Engine's going to be loud. But compared to track mode with the performance exhaust, no, it's like day and night. How different the volume and just the rawness of the exhaust sounds and the engine behind you. I think another cool thing is that having the engine behind you, because it's usually in front, you don't hear anything, but you can hear everything. You're driving in silent, you don't have music on, you can hear everything going off the engine. Now, there are some cons. Quality in the vehicle is good. It's good for Chevy to go in the right direction to compete with high luxury sports cars, or even, like I said, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, whoever. But there are some questionable things. The turn stocks, and then the windshield wiper stock. It is it looks like it came out of a Chevy Malibu. It doesn't feel expensive. It feels, or high quality. It feels cheap. So that's, again, this is Chevy, so they're gonna take shortcuts somewhere. So I wish that they would put a better quality stocks in here. And then behind in the engine, it's kind of a weird like rattling sound. I don't know if that's from the engine, but I've seen other YouTube videos of people talking about it, that like there's like a weird knocking sound when they're driving their C8 Corvette, or if a reviewer is driving it. and I'm not for sure where it's coming from or what it is. At first it had me worried that something happened to the engine back there or something was loose, and I kept driving. I was like, no, just feel like something's like moving around, but I had nothing in the trunk. So just be aware that if you hear that weird knocking noise, I would take it with a grain of salt. I wouldn't think anything of it. But so while we're at the red light, real quick, if you want to go to my mode or your Z mode and change what's going on with them, you go to home, you hit settings, you go to vehicle, and you go to Z mode right there, and then you can go back right here and go to my mode. So to get into Z mode, you press this Z button right here and it will light up red, and then depending how you have your display design and everything, your heads up display design, it would change to the Z mode. Same for my mode. My mode you can only access from the toggle switch right here with the other modes. So like I said, with the car mode, you got weather, my mode, tour, sport, and track, and then the extra Z mode. The difference really, they all have the same thing, except Z mode adds powertrain. So the powertrain can be on tour, sport, track. My mode doesn't add an option, so I've seen people say basically Z mode is your track mode. If you're going to the track, you're going to the track and you want more, customization in how your car is feeling on the track, then you need to be in Z mode. If you're just driving like this, you can be in Z mode or do my mode, but I would put my mode in my daily commute driving mode, and I would keep my Z mode my more aggressive driving mode. But while we're a little bit towards the end of my day with this, let's go ahead and pull over, and I'll take off the top, and then I'll put this bad boy in Z mode so I can show y'all where the fun is at in this vehicle. Alright guys, back in the C8. Got the roof bump, as you see, and then I'll show a little video on how you put to take it off. But basically, you just unlatch. When the roof's on, you got two latches in the front. Then you got a latch back here. Lift it up, put it in the trunk, and it's not actually heavy at all. It's pretty light. And while we're right here in park, let's go ahead and put it in Z mode. So you put it in Z mode. I have it in track for the engine sound. You can hear the engine get a little louder. How you're just sitting here and it's running, then you can even, oh yeah. That engine comes alive, you're just hearing cracks and pops all day. That's all you're hearing, is cracks and pops. Hopefully y'all can hear me with the roof off. I have my mic on, but it might get a little windy, really loud, because we're not cruising anymore in the C8 now. We're just taking off. Telling you, if you get a C8 with the performance exhaust, you need to have a speed radar in this vehicle, because you're gonna get pulled over. You're gonna get pulled over, and the cop is gonna look at you dumb that he pulls you over because you decided to go 60 and a 40 just to hear your exhaust pop. So with my Z mode, I have it to where the gauge display is on the sport display, so I still get the dial in the middle. It is not too track focused, but I have my heads up display. I don't know if y'all can see it. I have it on the track heads up display, where it shows me my gear I'm in, or if I'm doing manual, which gear I'm in the manual, my miles per hour, and it shows my red line. I mean, you're just popping your exhaust all day in this, and it's so fun to drive this car. I mean, I really couldn't believe like how fun this car is to drive. I can only imagine how fun, maybe, a Porsche is compared to this, which for its competitors, the Corvette's competitor is the Porsche 911, the Porsche Cayman, the M series, so like the M4, M3, really the M4. And then with Mercedes-Benz, it was the E-Class AMG two-door, but I'm not for sure where what it is now for Mercedes, because they discontinued the E-Class. So I guess it might be the new CLE two-door Mercedes-Benz sports car. Another reason why Chevy moved the engine from the front to the mid, to make it a mid engine, is because they also said the power and the balance was greater, and I definitely agree with them 100%, because I'm gonna take this corner over here. When you take a corner in this car, or you're driving around in a not a straight line, and you got curves and you're turning, you're speeding around, it holds itself. You don't feel like it's gonna fishtail. Even though this is a rear wheel drive sports car, you don't feel like it's gonna fishtail on you. Not at all. And it pulls you. You wanna keep going. But you gotta stop so you don't get pulled over. It pulls you back into your seat, and it feels like you're on a roller coaster, because how it just takes off on you. Zero to 60, they say, is about in 2.9 seconds. That's if you had the Z51 package, and that's also if everything is lightweight. You don't have the convertible option, which adds more weight. But man, talk about fun. The C8 Corvette is fun. It's fun, and it's not that expensive compared to its European rivals. And I believe with the Stingray, you get actually more horsepower for the base. You're getting 490 horsepower versus with the C7 Stingray, I believe you get 450 horsepower. So you're getting a lot more sports car with this. Let's go ahead and make a nice little U-turn so you can see the turn radius. Has pretty good turn radius. Man, can't believe it. Can't believe it. It's amazing. What are the reasons why you should get a Corvette C8 if you're in that market? One, it's American made, so it's gonna be cheaper maintenance. Two, rough road. Two, it pulls. Especially when you get the sport, you get the performance exhaust on it. Three, it looks good. I think they did a really good job with it. Like I said, get a spoiler on it, because I think a spoiler completes the look more. Now, if you have more money, because right now, you can, like I said, a used C8 is still going for around maybe 58 to 70. Depends on the year and the trim you're getting, and what's all added onto it. If you have more money, you want more performance, go for the Z06. Over 100K. You want basically the grand sport of the C8 generation, get the E-Ray, Corvette's first hybrid all-wheel drive sports car. It's gonna come with the Z06 body, but it's gonna be body color, but the more aggressive, wider body, but it's gonna keep the Stingray's 490 horsepower V8 engine, but in the front, you're gonna get a battery-operated engine in the front, so, or powertrain, in the front, to where the car can be electric for a couple miles, and you drive it completely in electric mode, which is a real crazy thing that Corvette has done. And the first of its kind, to where I think it'll be successful. I mean, there is the NSX, Acura's NSX, that was a hybrid sports car. I believe Ferrari has one. BMW tried it with their electric sports car in general, but it's been nothing but praise and the good things about the E-Ray. Now it's right here. Let's pop into manual mode. This is where the fun really begins, when you shift it yourself. It handles like a beast. You can't beat it. And it makes you want to go more and more with the engine behind you, and the performance exhaust that's popping in your ear. And it's a dual clutch, so you're controlling everything with these paddle shifters. And they're good size, they're big, they're not small. And I just hope y'all are hearing me, hearing the exhaust with this wind. I probably should get the roof on, but it's a good day. My last day with it, so I wanted to drive around with the roof off for y'all, with the exhaust popping. Then Chevy did a fun thing with this that I think only Lamborghini does. Regardless if you're in auto mode, the auto drive mode, or manual, you can pull both exhausts if you want to be annoying to somebody. Pull both exhausts. Rolling revs. It's insane. You can roll rev this vehicle while you're driving. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be under a tunnel. You can be in a neighborhood. No matter where you are. Pull both paddle shifters. You're revving. For the best sound, I suggest doing it under the tunnel. That's where you hear the pops. If you don't, it sounds like you're revving. If you go under the tunnel, you can hear the pops from the exhaust. Hey guys, we're at the end of the video, and the C8 Corvette was such a fun car to drive these past 4 days. This car checks off all of the sports car boxes when it comes to being fast, being powerful. You get that exotic car feeling sitting with the interior, and the exterior looks amazing. If you're in the market for a used sports car that's low on maintenance, the C8 Corvette should definitely be high on your list if it's not. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for cruising with Jacoby. I'll see y'all next time.